Hi, this is Spencer, and you're listening to The Other Show.
So after the couple months that we were talking, I decided to, look into tickets. And at the time, tickets were only like literally $400 to get to Queensland.
Round trip?
Round trip. And they've never, ever been that low even since. And so I'm like, hey, it's a good chance to maybe go back to the country where I serve my mission. Oh, hey, Josh, how's it going? Sorry, I was just telling a story.
Hi.
Join us. Do you want me to keep going, or should I cut it up?
I'm lost either way, so
yeah,
go right
and that's
ahead.
why I'm being as vague as I possibly can.
Oh
No, I want the dirty details.
Oh, so you want the dirty details? Is this?
I want the thunder from down under.
So Josh, I don't know if you knew this, but we started a lot of conversations on the other show, which we just hurry and recorded before you jumped in, and I was mid-story. And Spencer cut it off like right there. And so here I am.
Time.
Yeah. So should I tell the first part of the story, or should we just make people listen to the other show?
No, just go see the other show.
Okay. So I love that.
There's other good content there too.
Yeah, there really is. So I think
and quick plug, you can get a 7-day free trial if you have not signed up for Patreon.
Oh, I like that. Look, Josh, some quick context. I tend to get into long distance relationships. It's what I do. It's what.
You don't say.
No,
it's
don't
what,
say.
I know it works for me, but in 2020, early 2020,
You are that kid from junior high.
Listen, I'm a passport bro. All right, I'm sorry, and you're welcome. So
Actually, I'm going to call you a passport bunny.
a bunny?
Yeah.
Why a bunny?
Oh.
You know why.
Oh, okay. So
That implies so much.
So I was pretty excited to go to Brisbane, and it was just kind of like we've been talking for a couple months, and I was like, hey, this is, pretty fun, and I do want to go back to Australia, and for so cheap, great. And I was planning my trip, and I was about to buy tickets, and I was going to buy it for April, and then
You got
happened.
catfished. You got catfished.
Listen,
like
that's
Manti Teo.
No, listen. Those are two stories for another time because I've been catfished twice. But this one, I was about to buy the ticket for April of 2020, and something happened mid-March of that year. And I'm not really sure what, but for some reason, all flights were canceled.
That's right. We stopped talking. Our friendship was the linchpin.
Yeah, that was it. That's why I was like, I can't leave the house anymore. It's almost like I need to protect myself and wear a mask. So where I thought
that you were in that toxic of a relationship.
No, our friendship was the linchpin character of the Star 69 universe.
Nice.
So you're trying to find out who contacted you? Okay, I understand.
10-10-220.
Yeah, 1-800-COLLECT universe. It's fine. Mom, come pick me up. I'm in the mall. Mom, come pick me up. I'm at Lagoon. If you don't get that joke, 1-800-COLLECT. Sorry, this sounds like another show. 1-800-COLLECT. You'd call a number and says, "Would you like to receive a call from Mom? Pick me up. I'm at Lagoon." And then my mom would always say no, and then go pick me up at Lagoon at the front entrance.
I think I legit may have been the last generation to know that reference.
I have a hard time believing that.
All right,
because they took out the payphones from my high school while I was a senior.
Oh, all right. Yeah, surprising they had them when you were there.
Well, I used to call. That's how I would let my mom know I was done with football practice.
Yeah. See, Josh and I, we come from the generation of pagers. Like if you bought enough Mountain Dew, you could get a free pager, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I never got to that level.
You know what? If I buy enough Mountain Dew, now I get a free blood sugar machine.
Yeah, you do.
And that pages me.
Diabetes. So in short, also, sorry, Spencer, I'm not giving you the gory details at all, but where I thought it could have been another fun person to meet internationally, we never met because not only was it like
Catfish.
a lockdown for everybody,
Catfish.
maybe honestly, but like visiting Australia during the pandemic was kind of, no joke, like a penal colony. They kept you quarantined for 2 or 3 weeks when you got there, if you could get there, with every flight. And even then, flights were just ridiculous, right? And so obviously nothing ever happened. So no, Spencer, I've never been back to Australia.
Is it kind of ironic that Australia was treating people like a penal colony?
Yeah.
They're just getting back to their
Yeah,
roots.
I mean, listen, they know
They're
where their
good at
foundation
it.
is. They're good at it. Even though they should just be rebels and fighting the system, but they're part of it. It's what
that
it
comes
is.
after the guzzling revolution.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the Emu War. Have you heard about the Emu War?
Oh, I have heard about the Emu War.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't. Did they
Have
fight
you-
like battles of war with emus?
This is right up your alley, Josh, because you're exactly right.
Oh my gosh!
Okay.
Like,
Let me just read
like
this.
cockfights, but just with emus, or like you
Stop.
ride the emus.
No, stop and appreciate the fact that we again are three white dudes with a podcast talking about obscure history,
This is who we're meant to be.
obscure military history.
Josh, I'm going to just read the first paragraph of Wikipedia. And if you or anyone listening want to do their own research, please do, because it's great. Are you ready? So the Emu War, and when they say emu, the Emu War, or the Great Emu War, was a nuisance wildlife management military operation undertaken in Australia over the later part of 1932 to address the public concern over the number of emus said to be destroying crops in the Campion district in the wheat belt of Western Australia, so Perth, where I serve my mission. The unsuccessful attempts to curb the population of emus employed Royal Australian artillery soldiers armed with Lewis guns, leading the media to adopt the name Emu War when referring to the incident. Although many birds were killed, the emu population persisted and continued to cause crop destruction. They won the war. Emus, by the way,
won?
are the cousins of ostriches. They're giant, long-necked birds, and they are so annoying.
Josh, let me just paint another picture for you. When I say Lewis gun, this isn't like Jerry Lewis with a gun. A Lewis gun is a machine gun, like it's
Yes.
heavy artillery.
I was gonna say, I love the thought though of Jerry Lewis with a gun.
So we would drive out in the country areas with our Toyota Corolla back in the day, and every car was, I don't know if ours was, but every local had a car armed with a rhubar. And a rhubar is a kind of like, people have them here. Trucks have these, but just a giant brass bar in front of the car to hit kangaroos on the road, because they were just as prevalent as deer are here. In fact, Josh, if you were raised in Australia, I imagine deer would be your number one fear. Sorry, not deer. Kangaroos would be your number one fear, not deer, because kangaroos are actually far more violent,
And they're jacked.
and they're jacked. Like big reds are our size, and they can
And they're
they
jacked.
can-
No,
and they can rip you up with their claws too. Like it's
Yeah, and
nuts.
And they're jacked. Like they're on gear.
Yeah, leg day and arm day.
my brother lived in Brisbane for, I think, just over a year or so,
Okay, yeah.
and he had tons
Josh,
of
which-
stories.
Which brother? You have like 20 of them.
Ben.
Oh,
Ben's
he
the only
did?
one. Ben is the only one who's ever done anything adventurous in our family. So
That's my favorite part. Is like you do have like 20 brothers and sisters. Like it legit is like your own army for the Deer War of Bountiful.
oh yeah,
But Ben's the only one that's ever done anything adventurous. There's like the spectrum here is Ben to Josh. So like,
Yeah.
Ben is like climb this mountain adventurous, and then Josh is Josh.
the most exciting thing I've ever done is killed 2 YouTube channels, and he's been on network television. So
Yeah, hey,
it's a wide spectrum.
I'm holding out hope for Luke. I mean, Luke, make us proud.
I think he's aspiring to do a YouTube channel. Until
So
I
you can
touch
try
it
to
and
kill that one
it.
as well.
Uh-huh.
Josh is waiting on the sides with a pillow.
Yeah.
Gonna smother this thing.
Anyways, so there you go. There's a little history about Australia and my dating life all at the same time. Which my dating life I actually call the Great Emu War. So trying to catch a lot of birds. It's fine. Who am I, Austin Powers?
Here, I'm sitting here trying to think of a euphemism that it kind of skirts the PG-13 line.
Oh, you've never tried to skirt the E before.
No, I try to skirt just on the other side of E. I don't try to go like full E. Like never go hard E. Come on.
I've been to Hardee's. and their silly sacks.
Yeah. Ooh, I do like
Oh,
Hardee's.
see, that's an E-worthy reference right there. The silly sack.
Kent, you were talking about Bunnings on the other show.
Yeah,
and
with sausage sizzles and all that. Right.
And how Bunnings used to give out free sausages
Yeah.
to customers. Which reminded me of not just RC Willie giving out free hot dogs, but do you guys remember Eagle Hardware or like Lowe's when they used to give out donuts every Saturday
No.
to the customers?
No. What about me looks like somebody who spent a lot of time in a hardware store?
Listen, you lived at 5 Points Mall. Like maybe you just love retail.
True,
Yeah.
but there was no Lowe's or Eagle Hardware at 5 Points Mall.
Just a
Yes,
Mr. Mac.
I understand that you're not a hardware guy, but you are a donut guy.
Depends. I'm very picky with my donuts, especially now that I can't have egg.
Yeah.
But, that's just an old man problem right
Yeah.
there.
You used to love them. Right?
Yeah, I used to.
Well,
Okay,
what happened to the days when stores used to give you free food for showing up? Like you didn't have to buy anything, no purchase necessary, just to get you in the door. Here's a donut. Buy some screws.
Well, listen, it happens now, but it's usually grand openings. And being Utah, where we love free stuff, right? I think it
that's
takes a
a
year
good
for them to
point.
find it takes a year to get in the black. Whereas I think if a store, like let's say RC Willie, even at one location in Salt Lake, were to give free hot dogs every Saturday, like they'd never make their money back, or they'd run out real quick and people would be upset.
You've got a good point. Utahns probably ruined it by showing up and eating all the food.
And social media too. I think if people let's say 50 people didn't get hot dogs, that's a whole bunch of people complaining about RC Willie on social media.
True. All those 1-star reviews.
Thanks a
Thanks,
lot,
social media, for ruining my wieners. I just want some free dogs.
Skirting that man. Skirting that E.
I still associate the smell of roasting hot dogs with the hardware store. And I always get bummed out when I go to Lowe's and I don't smell Woody's Chicago dogs.
Yeah, me too.
I can't relate.
Me too.
Relate. I just remember going to Pay and Pack over by the Kmart in Woods Cross, and they would give all the kids balloons. You had to blow up the balloon. They wouldn't blow it up for you. But that's all I remember.
See,
free balloon day.
Spencer, my childhood was there is one gas station in Farmington, Utah, so very regional, and it was one gas station right on the corner. It's where Chevron is now. It's called VIP.
Yeah, I know it.
It was like just this podunk gas station where you could barely fit through the aisles, except they had a Street Fighter 2 and a Mortal Kombat arcade machine, which was cool. And I used to go every Saturday night before watching Tales from the Crypt at 10 p.m. And I would go get a fountain drink of a Coke, and I would get penny candies. And if you guys remember penny candies, those were better times.
Like the Tutti Fruttis and the...
Yeah, totally, right? And you get the little Swedish fish, and I would get those little white bags full, and I would say oh, I got 57 cents worth, and there was like $1.40 worth of penny candies in there. But because I was such an awkward, cute kid, I got away with it every time. They knew I was stealing.
Oh,
yeah, they knew. It's called a loss leader, Ken.
Yeah.
No, it was the penny candies. That's where I shoplifted for the first time.
Because
I went with a friend. I went with a friend who was trying to get me to steal an apple turnover of all things.
Okay.
Actually, no, it wasn't an apple turnover. It was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Was it the
turtle pie?
Oh,
the turtle
my
pie?
Gosh.
He was trying.
I got drool. I just drooled.
And
green shell, vanilla custard. Can you believe?
Gosh.
Here's the thing. How long? Let me ask you this question real quick before we go on. How long was the turtle pie a thing?
6 months?
Oh, probably like 6 months, I would imagine.
But I feel like it was around a lot longer.
Well, probably because they made too many, and then they couldn't get rid of all of the surplus.
Oh, and they were at the grocery outlet.
You know, on Inside Out when they have like those islands of memories. I have an island dedicated to the turtle pie.
The turtle pie,
which is weird.
The turtle pie with ecto cooler.
The turtle pie island. Yeah, right.
Yes.
Of forgotten food products that I still crave.
Oh man.
See, so my friend, his name was Darren. He wanted me to steal. I know he wanted me to steal one of these turtle pies. And I knew right away, there's no way I could get away with that, right?
Yeah.
Just because I have such a guilty conscience anyway that I would probably start crying on my way outside of the, of the gas station.
Sure.
So I panicked and I just took a handful of Tootsie Rolls. And then it was probably a few weeks later or whatever, I confessed to my mom because the guilt just got to me so bad. So she gave me a dime to go give to the attendant in the Top Stop, right?
Yep.
And so I go in there and I explain what I did. And I'm maybe 9 or 10 years old at this time. So I can't really articulate what I'm saying even. Because I was nervous and scared at the same time. And I just remember the poor teenage, gas station attendant he started laughing. He's like, oh, dude, he's like, that's okay. He's like, it happens all the time. But he's like, if you want to give me your dime, make you feel better, that's okay. And I'm like, yeah.
So, Josh, just to piggyback on that, the first time I stole, I was 6 years old. And I remember, the same area you grew up in, and I was shopping at the Alpha Beta with my mom.
Oh, the Alpha Beta.
Yeah. Which is now
too old for my blood.
Right? It was Albertsons and then Dick's. So the Alpha Beta.
So the one in Centerville,
Centerville.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not the one right below you or where you were before. So
right.
When you're a kid, below him. When you're a kid, oh my gosh, when you're a kid and you're shopping with your mom and she's checking out in the checkout aisle, you turn around. And other than swinging like you're in the trapeze on the metal bars, you turn around and there's free bubble yum right behind you, or Bubblicious. And I'm like, what? Why is it just sitting there? Oh no! And we didn't get a lot of treats like that growing up, so I stole a pack of bubble yum, and I went home and I ate it, and it was the best thing I've ever tasted in my entire life. And then I did it a week later because I was like, Mom, can I go shopping with you? Keep in mind, I'm 6, but a very oh yeah, I would love to go shopping with you, Mom. So I stole another pack, and when we were walking out to the car in the parking lot, it fell out of my pocket, and I ran back to get it, and I almost got run over. And my mom, of course, grabbed me. She's like, what were you doing? And I'm like, oh, nothing. And she saw the pack of gum. So same thing, Josh. I had to march inside and tell this 15-year-old cashier how sorry I was. And it's one of the scariest things I've ever done in my life. And he laughed. It may have been the same guy. He's
it probably was.
There was a kid that was trying to give me a dime last week. But I will never forget that. I don't have any memories previous to 9 years old, but I remember the time I tried to steal.
See, my first time was somewhere between Josh and Kent's.
Okay.
Plus 10 years.
It was at the Reams, and it was gummy bears from the penny candy section.
Okay.
You know how they used to have the barrels of the penny candy? And
It Reams too. I love this already. Okay.
I was trying to be helpful. I was 6 years old or younger. I don't know.
Yeah.
And the gummy bears were stuck together. So naturally in my brain, I was like, well, the only way to separate these gummy bears and help Reams is to eat them. So my mom caught me breaking apart the gummy bears, and I'd eat one and put the other one back in.
So you're manhandling these gummy bears, but also eating one with sticky fingers completely.
That almost feels like a Kevin from The Office story.
Hey, I was hoping separate the gummy bears, one for you, one for me.
I was helping. Look, it was the 90s. Health code didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
So
and
my
germs
mom
weren't a
made
thing.
My mom made me tell the attendant that I was eating their gummy bears and give them money to pay for the gummy bears I ate. And we didn't know how many I ate. 5.
Wait, it was only 5?
It was only 5. It wasn't much. Come on.
You should have gone hands deep in that thing.
No, I was trying to help break apart the gummy bears, man.
Yeah, you're being
trying
efficient.
to help.
Man, our confessions of petty crime. Another great topic for a white man's podcast.
Listen, we'll never be prosecuted.
Hey, everyone listening. Hey, what's the first thing you stole? Go on.
Hey, yeah, we got a Kenny poll over here.
Yeah, there we go. Since the first they did this confessional, I guess.
Yes.
So say 10 Hail Marys and give 10 cents to your local grocery store, and you're good to go.
Yeah, and you have to confess to the teenage attendant there. So.
Well, and here's the thing: anything you steal as a child, inflation doesn't apply to. So if it was 10 cents then, it's not like $30 now. It's still 10 cents.
I don't know. This one time I saw an episode of Married with Children when I was like 11, and Al Bundy had not returned a book to the library he had since he was a kid, and there was like a $10,000 fine. And I remembered that I had a Honey, I Shrunk the Kid novelization for about 6 months, and I was terrified that I was also going to have a $10,000 fine. I learned life lessons from Married with Children, apparently.
Look, you have two choices at that point. One is wait until the library closes down and the apocalypse comes, or move to Mexico and change your identity.
Yeah. Well, listen.
Those are your only two options.
I waited out Top Hat Video. They're out of business now, sadly. But, I no longer had to pay my late fees with those.
No, we know you're not a runner.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how did you get out of your Top Hat video fees? Because I just posted
never,
it on.
Josh, I never went back because I was embarrassed of the kind of movie I rented.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we would have been friends in high school for sure.
I'll just say this: I've told the story a few times, but I rented it from the genre section, brain cavity, brain cavity, not drama, not romance, not comedy, brain cavity. Yeah, you should have come over. We were having a sleepover, and I just sadly never brought the movie back. So
I had like $35 or $40 worth of late fees.
Yeah,
and they waived it because I complained about it on social media.
That's awesome.
The honest truth probably was so, Josh. They probably switched point of sale systems and just didn't migrate over the late fees.
That's probably it.
No. They did that before. They're pretty militant about it too, but luckily, I mean, they're out of business. Actually, no, it's
actually sad.
Yeah.
You know what's sad is they had to declare bankruptcy, and it was by the amount of $30, Josh, and so you could have saved that business.
It.
Wow, that's
brutal. I could see how a $30 late fee at Blockbuster would have killed them, but not Top Hat.
Hey,
no, there's an alternate universe out there. Universe 1010-220, where there is a picture of Josh on the wall of Top Hat Video that says "Our Lord and Savior"
instead of our destroyer.
Oh man!
Did I ever tell you? Speaking of keeping stuff, I don't know where we're even going with this episode, but let's just keep going with it.
Klepto man.
When I was in college, this was 2002, and there were DVDs at Blockbusters, but there were still VHS, and they were trying to phase them out. But I remember there was this apartment of girls, one who I had a crush on, and they rented Steel Magnolias on VHS from Blockbuster.
My wife is freaking out right now because she loves that movie.
So I saw it on their shelf, and I went, "What's this crap?" And I took the movie. I know, I'm so sorry, MaryAnn, but I was young and naive, and I took the movie out of the case, and I literally placed this VHS tape on top of their garbage, so that they would see it and go, "Who threw our tape we rented in the garbage? Oh my gosh, what a jerk." It's probably Kent. Okay. And they threw it away. They accidentally stuffed the garbage and threw it away. And then they opened the case for Steel Magnolia a second. Yeah, anyways. And it was empty. And they were like, what happened? And they were asking a lot of people. I came over and I confessed. And I was like, I heard you were, I threw it away. And I'm like, do you want me to go to Blockbuster with you and explain the situation? And they're like, no, we'll just go and say that, someone threw it away or took it or stole it or whatever. And they did. They came back, and no joke, not even a prank, Blockbuster tried to fine them $120.
No.
$120 for a VHS tape that they were phasing out, and they were selling VHS tapes. And because it was like this proprietary coded video. And I was like, that's crazy. So like I talked to Blockbuster for like 2 weeks, and I literally went to probably, I don't even know where, but I bought a VHS tape of Steel Magnolias and brought it to Blockbuster. And thankfully they forgave them. But I was like, $120? I actually was panicking. If I have to pay that kind of fee for Steel Magnolias, MaryAnn, worth every penny.
Let me see. What year was this?
2002. Are you looking at how much VHS was back then? It was probably $15 tops.
Oh yeah, $15-$20.
Spencer's going to the Wayback Machine.
220.
He's pounding away on those keys.
I got the clickety clack.
Yeah.
Okay, so if in 2002 You spent $120. Calculate. That's $209 adjusted for inflation.
Hey, MaryAnn, still worth it.
No, that is
actually kind of changing gears here. Speaking of MaryAnn, this past week we both went to my gosh, why can't I think? Hold on.
Def Leppard.
Oh yeah, Def Leppard. So this past week,
I know you can hear me.
We went to Def Leppard. Sorry, can't put that in there. So yeah, this past week.
You're not taking it out, Josh. Don't pretend.
Speaking of MaryAnn, this past week, MaryAnn and I went to Def Leppard over at USANA or whatever they're calling it now these days, Utah First, and we had our first fight. Like,
oh no,
wait, like a legit fight?
Let me kind of paint the picture here a little bit.
Ted, I gotta get my popcorn.
Spencer's been waiting for this moment, clearly.
Just go swipe it from the gas station down the road.
We do have a Holiday at 7-Eleven and a Maverick now. Hooper be booming.
Take it easy.
So we went to the show, and it started at 7:30, right?
Yeah.
It didn't have an opener. It actually had a DJ. It had a DJ from
Hey John.
It wasn't John.
Oh.
It was somebody who I think just pushed play, to be honest with you. It was
okay.
It was good.
So real DJ.
It was good, but it wasn't. This was the last show that Def Leppard was doing on this tour.
Mm-hmm.
And they had toured with Journey, but Journey was not with them for this show. So they just got a local DJ that played. And anyway,
so Journey didn't want to make the journey to the end?
No.
Did they stop believing?
They were too tired. They're about the same age as the Def Leppard band. But anyway, so we go to the show. We're meeting up with friends and with some family, and I didn't know where I was going. I don't really know the way from where we live in South Jordan to the amphitheater.
Yeah.
So I asked MaryAnn if she could drive there. I could drive back, and she said okay, but she was a little nervous because she hates driving in crowds. I'm like, I'll be fine.
And it is so crowded.
Yeah.
The parking situation and even getting her there or out is the worst.
No, and I can attest, anytime there's traffic like that, your nerves are exposed anyway.
Same.
Well, so we driving there, no problems. We get to the light. We get to the intersection where everybody's turning left to get into the parking lot. It should have been as simple as that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she starts turning left, and she's like, well, where do I turn? I'm like, well, just follow where the other car just went. She's like, well, I don't know where they went because there's a lot of cones out there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just go right there. And we have people in the back who are honking, right? And I'm like, you just got to go. You just got to go. She's like, well, where do I go? Over there. And so just the nerves right there. And then she's going along this one road, this pathway, and she's a little nervous because she doesn't know if she's on the right pathway because we waited so long to turn with the other traffic that nobody else was really in front of us. And I said, just keep following it until somebody tells us to, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And to her credit, we did get to a part. Well, we did get to a part where she pulled off, and she's just like, "You're gonna have to drive. Just drive." Yeah. And I'm like, "Okay, fine." So I hopped out. I waved awkwardly at the people behind us, and I drove. And then, of course, took the wrong turn somewhere because they didn't have enough volunteers showing you where to go. And this lady comes screaming. This volunteer or whatever comes screaming at me, telling me that I shouldn't be cutting the line and that I need to go with everybody else. And I said, well, where am I going? I have no idea where anybody is going. And she's like, well, you have to go over there. And I'm like, okay. So I did, because I'm like, I'm not going to park over here because she was just being a jerk, being a rooster.
Yeah, there we go.
We're on the edge.
Should we make this an Am I the Rooster? Josh and MaryAnn?
No, well,
because spoiler alert, I'm picking MaryAnn.
Well, as you probably should.
I'm not saying she's the rooster. I'm siding with MaryAnn.
Oh, okay. Well, fine, whatever. Everybody should side with MaryAnn anyway.
Because she reacts to my reels.
We finally park. we get in there and then we're waiting for Def Leppard to get there. It gets to be 8:30 and a storm comes rolling through.
Yeah.
Like, it was a perfect day.
Yep.
Just right then, lightning, thunderstorm. And they ended up delaying the show until 10:18. That's when Def Leppard started playing. They had to get, I guess, like an extension on the curfew because they can only play until 11.
Yeah, if you know anything about USANA, they have a curfew for everyone at 11, which is ridiculous. I know there's houses there now, but it's in the middle of nowhere almost.
Yeah, it's still in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we waited it out. I mean, it was a pretty gnarly storm. And
wait, did it actually rain on you more than just sprinkle? Like, I know there was lightning, but
and the wind.
Wasn't that the same night as Sum 41?
Yeah, so I'll give my weather experience after Josh tells the fight story.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Like, the wind, it was more windy, I think, during the delay. When we finally got word that they were opening it up, we're like, okay, let's just go, because it was late. I mean, they started it at 10:18. And even just a few minutes before, there were some lightning strikes that were fairly close by, but I'm like, oh no, like they're just going to cancel this. Yeah. But I guess they just went with it. The first 15-20 minutes of the show, it was pretty much a downpour. And I won't lie, it was actually kind of fun. Like, I think it just added to that experience. But I won't lie, I'm usually in bed sometime between 10:30 and midnight-ish, depending on the night.
Right.
And so I was tired. Having waited about 3 hours for the show to start.
Yeah.
And then it didn't get out until midnight, just barely after midnight. So then you're fighting traffic, and I was driving. Both of us were tired. Both of us were cranky, and that was probably the problem. Because then she's starting to tell me kind of where to go, figuratively and literally. And I told her, I said, no, like, my friend Eric has this trick to get out of here much faster. You don't go with the flow of things, you go against it. If we turn right and then turn right, we're going to bypass all of this log jam back here. And she's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, just trust me, okay? I'm like, I just want to get home. So we got past USANA fairly quickly. We got out of there. We get to about 4100 South, and we're trying to get on Bangerter because we live right off of Bangerter.
I hardly even know her.
Waiting for that joke. Says it every time I mention
it. I say it every time I hear the name. In fact, I did it in front of my parents at dinner tonight. Accidentally.
Oh, classy. Sunday dinner. Oh, yeah. All good.
Yeah. Sunday dinner, yeah.
Myers with a big E. Anyway.
It's definitely not a D.
Getting over to the intersection to turn right, and some jerk will not let me over. And I couldn't get over to turn on to Bangerter. And at this point, it's like 12:30, 12:45, and I'm tired. I have a headache because the only thing I ate was a $13 stupid sauerkraut bratwurst that tastes like crap.
I will not stand for the slander of the bratwurst. I don't care how bad it is. A bad bratwurst is still better than a good cheese sandwich or a good pizza any day of the week, especially if you add some kraut.
Can I mute his mic?
Yeah, I think you can. You can actually cut him out in post if you want.
I probably should.
There's no way a brat is better than a slice of pizza.
Okay, I may have overstepped my line there.
Okay, thank you.
But
it was...
Don't slander the crowd.
Or even a wedge salad, Spencer.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. I've been craving that ever since we went.
Okay, listen to the other show if you want context.
So I just was cranky. MaryAnn was cranky. And
what time is it at this point?
12:30, 12:45.
Oof.
So okay. I missed the turn onto Bangerter. I mean, I could have done a U-turn somewhere.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'll just go to Redwood. I'll go down to Redwood, go to 50th because you can't turn left off of 45th. And then I'll get on there. And she's like, you're backtracking. And I said, well, I know, but I'm like, honey, like, my head hurts. I know where I'm going. I don't want to think. I don't need directions. I just want to get home. She's like, well, we're never going to get home if you're going to backtrack like that. Okay, we're both cranky here. but I'm like, and so anyway, every turn I took, she just kind of grumbled, and then it was like, we're backtracking again. And I'm like, honey, let me just go. Like, my head hurts.
I'm still on MaryAnn's side.
So finally we get to 54th, and then I'm like, we need food.
Yeah.
Like, we need food. So, Del Taco, man.
Yeah. Comes in clutch.
Oh, dude. Comes through clutch every time.
Seriously, Snicker bars has nothing. Nothing.
Del Beefer.
On Del Taco.
On a double Del Beefer and then a side of bean and cheese burrito.
Wait, so he can't say bangator, but you can say beefer?
Because it's referring to hamburger. What are you talking about?
Personally, it's about the crispy chicken taco.
Yeah, it's a crispy chicken taco at this point. The habanero crispy chicken taco. Or
I've got to try those.
If you you could have at that point got the bacon egg quesadilla, which is delightful, or the chili cheese fries.
Not after that night.
Hey, Kent, when are you gonna eat the whole menu at Del Taco?
Don't spoil it. Anyways, Josh.
Wait, really?
You just made Spencer a very happy man. Anyway, Del Taco saved my marriage.
That's the title.
Yes.
Because those tacos, holy cow, changed our mood within 2 seconds.
Yeah, of course.
And then we were fine. But man, we were cranky. She was kind of giving me the silent treatment there for a little bit.
You say you're fine now, but you did just do impressions of her. You're backtracking. I mean, is everything going to be okay? Do you need to be ready with Del Taco?
That's true.
If you air this episode to her?
Well, I'm going to be having some Del Taco on Wednesday morning, ready for her.
Okay, perfect. Okay, lovely.
Any recommendations, Kent? What pairs well with a morning Mountain Dew?
Oh, it's only bacon egg quesadilla. And don't get a morning Mountain Dew. Don't do that. Knock it off.
Oh, no, you get a Mountain Dew Zero with a little orange juice and you mix it together. Get yourself a little more.
Your little samosa. Your little soda samosa.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you haven't even really talked about the concert. Was it not worth going to the concert based on the headache that happened?
It was fun. It really was fun. I think it was just annoying because it was a school night.
Yeah.
Right. Or work night. And I think having it start at 10:18, I looked at my watch. That's why I know specifically why it started then. I was kind of hoping that they were going to cancel it or reschedule it at that point because I just was so mentally drained at that point waiting. And I think that kind of added to kind of our negativity a little bit. After we ate our Del Taco, and we kind of actually started laughing about it because like, did we just get in our first fight?
I almost ended our marriage before I took a bite of this spicy chicken taco.
Can we just appreciate the fact, and this isn't to put a damper on your Def Leppard rain story, but we got more excited when you said Del Taco than when you said Def Leppard.
I mean, the drummer from Def Leppard only has one arm, which is cool.
Yeah. It's not like you said Def Leppard and we're naming songs. It's like, no, we went to
named
Del Taco.
Food items.
Menu items.
That's amazing.
Another reason why this is a white man podcast.
Sure. Well, no, Def Leppard is a white man group. No, see, Josh, I had a different experience. So I went to Sum 41 and it was at the complex. So obviously much smaller area, but it was in the parking lot. So there were a lot of people in, not the parking lot. It is kind of like a lot just outside of the complex itself. And there were a ton of people. And there was a point, so they played from about 8:30 to 10:30. And there was a point about 9:30 where everyone saw lightning in the distance. And it was mostly like Bountiful area, maybe 10 miles away. And I was like, they're going to cancel this concert. And then it started raining a little bit, just a little bit. I think you guys got it worse. And I was like, actually, the band's still going and the wind is crazy. And it made the ambiance so cool to the point where they're playing, they're rocking out, and they removed like the canopy from behind them. And the lightning was hitting, and still in the distance, but like they're doing drum solos. And then you'd see in the distance. And I was like, they couldn't have planned this better. And I'm just saying,
a music video.
USANA, kind of pansies. They've done this a lot, and I know that they have to be safe, and there are thousands of people to take care of, but they easily cancel shows for weather.
Well, and that happened last year when we went to the Offspring.
Yeah, and actually Sum 41 was playing, or they were meant to play, and they canceled. But that was USANA just cancels if there's any sort of slight rain.
It's the lightning more so.
Yeah.
And it's like they have this rule where if it's within certain mileage, they have to stop the show for 30 minutes until there's a 30-minute lull. No lightning.
Like it's baseball.
So that's why it surprised me why they still played when they came back. Because there was lightning and rain.
Okay.
This just the moral of the story here, because we are getting to time. So I just want to wrap it up and give a moral.
Thank you. Okay, will of morality, turn. Tell us a lesson that we should learn.
Go to concerts with Kent, not with Josh.
No, I mean, yes, but also...
You don't get yelled at. You may not get a beef and bean burrito, but there's a good chance you will with Kent.
Spencer?
The concert doesn't get canceled.
Right outside of the complex, they had hot dog stands. They knew what we needed, and they had grilled onions. They were sausage sizzles, to be quite honest with you.
Sold.
So yeah, let's go to a show. But Josh, at the same time, I get stressed too. In fact, I think USANA has good shows. I don't go on purpose. I hate that they will never fix their structure or traffic situation. I think it's garbage. It's almost like Saltaire. Saltaire might be a little bit better, actually. It's preposterous. And so it's not even worth going. I've skipped out on, encores for some of my favorite bands just to beat the rest of the traffic. And I know people do that, but I'm like, I'm doing this. Why am I? And I'm like, I'm old. I don't want to fight the traffic.
You're an old. Yeah. Hey, I'm cool with that. I can't go to Bear Ghost with you, unfortunately.
Why not?
So you're going to have to come to... I'll be on the last day of my cruise. I literally get home the next day.
Bear Ghost? Is this like a sequel to Cocaine Bear?
Josh needs to go to Bear Ghost.
No, yeah, it's actually after he passes. And the band sounds like...
He did a little too much cocaine.
Yeah, but it's rocking. Like, there's a little bit of cocaine involved.
It's like spooky rock.
Spencer, we'll send Josh a few songs. Josh, if you want to come to the show with me, I'll be going. Yeah. Very small venue over at the Metro, so I'm pretty stoked. Yeah.
I do need some more live music in my life. I won't lie, but at the same time, weekend.
Here, how about this?
Before midnight.
I will, if a show goes past 11, I'll drive you home, and I'll just I'll bring a pillow for you. You can rest your head on the side of the car there, and just on the pillow, and then you'll be like, are we home yet? And I'll say, almost, buddy. And then I'll open up the bag because I just went through the drive-thru at Del Taco. And then you'll just be like, oh, this is the best. See?
Thanks, Ken.
I'll take care of you. I'll take care of you, little guy.
Dude, can I just...
Again, moral of the story, go with Kent, not with Josh.
Can I just say, though, I hate falling asleep in cars, especially if I'm not... Well, obviously, if I'm not the one driving.
I fall asleep in cars if I'm driving.
Is this another confessional? Yeah, it's the worst to fall asleep when you're driving.
Right.
Please don't.
Yeah, trust me. doesn't pan out how you think it would.
We're actually all dead, Josh. You're not really here.
But when I'm road tripping, right? And I think this started in college because I would road trip with other people between, Bountiful and Cedar City. But I hated... I don't know what it is, but I hate when I'm tired and I'm sleepy, and I hate when people know that I'm sleeping. So I always pretend that I'm still awake, and it's like I've learned how to fall asleep while it looks like I'm just looking out the window.
Why are we so embarrassed to be caught asleep? What is it with humans? It's like, no, I wasn't sleeping. I'm good.
Because we're social creatures. We want to be a part. But I shouldn't be asking this question because we are at time. And I'm the one that's 45 minutes, guys. 45 minutes.
But go on.
But when was the last road trip that you went on that was more outside of the state of Utah? And I'm not talking when we go to Preston because that doesn't count. But the last legit road trip you went on.
It makes me sad to think about. I try to do one a year, and it's been 4 years.
Actually, it was Vegas February 2022. It was like a couple weeks after I met MaryAnn.
Okay, I'll count it. Yeah.
What about you, Spencer?
I drove to California.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Twice last year.
Oh, that's right.
And then the year before that, I drove to California.
Yeah. Yeah, I've flown a bunch.
When are we going camping, guys?
Oh, okay. Well, with that, real quick before we go, there's something I've wanted to do
I need to end this really quick.
Real quick, though.
I'm not joking.
For 7 weeks, I wanted to wish Allison Fairbanks Gall happy birthday. Allison, happy birthday. I know your birthday was like in 2023, so I'm sorry we're getting to it now. But
also, I think it was like let's just get her whole family right now. Especially her daughter.
Yeah,
and
just everybody.
Parents.
A very happy birthday.
Her husband.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they'll have birthdays sometimes this year. So, anyways, with that, Josh, take us out.
I better.
You've just listened to The Other Show, starring Kent Dunn, Josh Hansen, and Spencer Myers. The Other Show is produced by Kent Dunn, Josh Hansen, and Spencer Myers. Show design and audio editing is done by me, Josh Hansen, and sales manager is Spencer Myers. The Other Show is generously supported by our friends on Patreon. A huge thank you to our Friends with Benefits tier. These friends are contributing a minimum of $25 a month, which in return comes with some rather significant benefits, including the weekly off-the-cuff episodes of The Other Show, monthly bonus episodes, quarterly live Q&A shows, and exclusive swag and perks. A huge thank you to our favorite Brit, Jonathan Vaskar, the lovely and talented Mrs. Robinson, the one, the only Chris Anderson, Brandon from Popfly Cards, Lady Terry A. Finley, the proud Disney mom, Tanya Budge, the other Keith Brown, it's Rick, not Dick, Smith, Dave, and of course, our newest friend with benefits, Melanie Milring. To support The Other Show on Patreon, visit patreon.com/The Other Show to join. Please rate, review, and subscribe to The Other Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, or wherever podcasts are found. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X. To better connect with us and other fans of The Other Show, join our Facebook group, The Other Group. For past episodes, links to our other shows, and to shop for show swag, visit our website at theother.show. And remember, when you're not listening to me here on The Other Show, you can hear me on my other show, The Party in the Back.
You can hear me on my other show, Bacon Cell.
Allison has 2 kids, right, Josh?
Happy birthday to you too.